Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Event Tech Live, the main stage, day number 4. If you're live and in person with us, the live day number 2. Just seen another case study on this main stage there, and I'm delighted to be joined by another special guest in the studio. You just seen him on stage, none other than another award winner, ladies and gents, the amazing Rich Belcher. Hi Rich, how are we doing?
Hey, not too bad. It's very weird. I'm normally sat about 4 feet that way, counting you in, but I'm being counted in. It's very odd.
It's quite odd looking over there, not seeing Rich make interesting hand gestures, let's say. So most of them positive, I have to say, but like he says, he has been counting me in and running the production behind the show. So if anyone doesn't know who you are, Rich, tell us a little bit more about you and your company.
So, firstsight.media, we are video production and event streaming specialists. So we are, so any of the content that you've been watching in the last, for the last week almost, has basically come out of our studios. So we've been producing that content on behalf of ETL. We're here streaming from the 4 stages. My team are behind that, and this bonus stage is conveniently got our logo on it as well, because my team is running all that. So we do events of all shapes and sizes, conferences, webinars, that kind of stuff.
And in terms of Event Tech Live, I say this isn't your first year, is it here? How many years have you been doing this for?
I think this is number 7.
Wow.
And I think we've been filming ETL for 7 years, and we've kind of grown with it. It was 1 stage, then it was 2, now it's 4, and now it's 4 and virtual stages. So yeah, we ran ETL US and Canada in June, I want to say, and we ran the virtual incarnation of ETL in 2020 as well. So yes, we are old hats. I have probably a million emails from Paul and James and Adam in the last few months alone.
And how does it feel? I've been asking all our guests who've joined us here in the stage, what's it like actually being back in person? There's been that long wait while we've had COVID, we've had all the restrictions. How does it feel to be actually back in person today?
It's a combination of odd and exciting, I think I would say. It's very odd to not have my face mask on right now, for example. But I think it's been really great to see lots of people. I think what's been really exciting for us is that a lot of people know the name First Media now because of obviously the work we've been doing in the virtual side of things for ETL. Our kind of name's been splattered in much ways that it wasn't before, so that's been really great. It's really nice to see those faces again. Similar faces that often we find at ETL, and new ones as well. I've had so many conversations about collaborations, both companies that can add to us, but companies that we can add to, which is a great opportunity for me to plug my session tomorrow morning at 10 a.m, opening the virtual day 5 with my friends from Production Bureau and Crowdcoms talking about collaboration. So there you go, I segued to that, I don't know how I did it. But
that's it, and collaboration and conversation are definitely the buzzwords of the event today, so looking forward to that tomorrow. But I know you said you've grown, like you say, with the show, and I know you've had some big changes over the past 18 months, 2 years during lockdown. Tell us a bit more about those.
Yeah, so as you can imagine, a video and streaming company, we didn't really pivot that hard. We changed and shifted, and a lot of the events that we were running completely disappeared in kind of March, April last year, like everybody's. The difference is that we were able to use our skills to convert those into virtual events. So my team is we've taken over twice as much office space. We've installed 6 virtual studios, and we've gone from 11 to nearly 20 staff.
Wow.
Crazy, and still my hairline continues to recede with the sheer amount of stuff. But it's great. Lucky position to be in, I guess. But what's really been brilliant is how we're now starting to apply what we've learned from virtual, and our customers are too. The Beaver Congress session that I just spoke about is a really good example of that, of how we're starting to apply those virtual nuggets into the physical to create a hybrid, like this one,
absolutely,
for example.
Yeah.
I think that it's been a really from that point of view, it's been a good certainly 2021.
And in terms of the future, you say you've had all this growth. Like, what are you most excited about? What sort of directions do you feel like the world is going to move in on you yourselves at First Sight Media? Or what are you sort of working on moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's more of what I just mentioned. Actually, it's more of the trying to sew in the best bits of virtual into the the physical environment. Vanessa from Glisser, who was here earlier, she said something which I thought was perfect about how we'll stop calling it hybrid. And it'll just be an event, and it'll just be that there is a virtual element to that event as standard moving forward. And I think that's what's good. We are still seeing quite a lot of resistance to the virtual side of things. People are thinking that it's going to cannibalise their audience. But I think I think we've got Adam Parry back on this bonus stage later on, and I think even he will tell you now that it's not about cannibalizing the audience, it's about creating and opening up to a new one. And I've been saying this for approximately 1,000 years, and it's now that people are starting to kind of see that that's a potential. And the Beaver Congress example that I just gave, they normally have 1,200 in-person delegates. They had 1,450, of which 600 were in person. This was in September. 600 were in person, and the rest were virtual. So rather than it losing their audience, in this case, obviously COVID was a big factor.
Yes.
But in this case, it was that they would have lost that wider audience if they hadn't had the virtual opportunity. And I think we're going to see that much more and more, particularly with people liking working from home and not wanting to necessarily come all the way to London or all the way to Vegas or whatever, to give them the opportunity to keep being involved. I think is really important. It's all about engagement, and Tim from Grip yesterday said it should always be all about the audience.
Yes.
And I think that's what we're starting to see now, is that, well, actually it doesn't matter that I'm scared about losing these people coming virtually. It's now more about, well, we can get all these people. Yeah, I've gone on and on, but I think I've made some very good points in it. I hope I have.
I think so. I think in there, if you watch that back, ladies and gents, a little bit later
Something in there.
I'm sure you'll find some absolute nuggets in there. But just in terms of, I know you said there's still a little bit of resistance from some people, maybe a lack of understanding. Well, what's the best thing if people are thinking, I may want to do a hybrid or a virtual element to my, live events moving forward? What's the best thing for them to do? Is it just come to you and have a conversation, just get that ball rolling, and just, do you think it's a lack of knowledge, or why do you think that resistance is still there?
I think it's a lot of fear of the unknown, of course, and they've always done it this way, and some people haven't adapted that much during COVID. Some people have, some people haven't, and I think it's a lack of. I mean, what I would say is you've still got time to get down here to Event Tech Live, right? It's 1 o'clock. You've still got 3 hours or so. If you I don't know how long your train's going to take, but hurry. So get here or watch some of the content that's been shown here. There's been some great case studies and some great chats about realistic ways that you can easily start to just dial it up a little bit, and I think those little tweaks will eventually lead to, where you need to be, potentially.
And in terms of, I totally agree with what you're saying there, like I said, also, if you can get down. Like I said, there's still time, come meet us. Just in terms of, sort of moving forward, what we're looking at in the future, how do you see the world of events? Again, I'm going back to the crystal ball again. Do you see it as a fully sort of hybrid? And I know we sort of touched on it's just going to be, events with that virtual element. Do you think that's where the future really is going?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be two types of event, actually. And I think one is going to be virtual only.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of our big pharmaceutical customers going, oh, you know what, I just saved 450 grand by doing that online, and actually haven't really lost anything.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of them are thinking about maybe, instead of fallow years, it'll be a virtual year, and so maybe rotating it like that, which I think is a great way to keep engagement going and that kind of thing. So we're seeing that. But then, I think, to steal from Vanessa again, I think it's going to be that there's always going to be a virtual element to most events. Certainly the type of events that firstsight.media run moving forward. The conferences, the webinars, the exhibitions like this. I think we'll be seeing a lot more virtual elements sewn in as standard. moving forward.
No, I totally agree with that, absolutely. In terms of what you do, when people come and talk to First Sight Media, obviously you've got a good sort of idea with literally what we're doing right here, right now, with an example of what you guys do. But when people come and talk to you about, the services you offer and what you provide, what surprises them actually most about what you deliver?
Wow, good one. I think actually what we're seeing. So some of our customers have been with us for 10. Well, Beaver that I was just speaking about, they've been with us for 10 years next year.
Yeah.
And I think it's been this virtual element that people don't know about, that they've really started to engage with us, and I think they've been surprised at how knowledgeable and how experienced we are, and therefore I think actually that we've been able to help them deliver their event in a way that they didn't expect it. Yeah, great, we've got the cameras and we've got the the streaming equipment and all that kind of stuff, but we're also a very experienced team, and helping to plan a virtual event is something that we all need at the moment. Our event planning colleagues really are looking for that guidance, and I think they're most surprised that we give it, and we give it well and valid.
Absolutely.
Ways. Yeah.
And in terms of yourselves, how do you differentiate yourself from other people doing similar things? I know you touched on obviously how much experience you've got, and as I say, hopefully this week has shown you, how slickly and seamlessly these guys can deliver the sort of hybrid elements and the streaming bit. But I say, what really makes you guys stand out?
I think it's a lot of what I just said about our ability to kind of guide and steer and help, but also I think it's the calmness under pressure a lot of the time with live events, as everybody watching I'm sure knows, is there's always going to be something that goes wrong. And the way that First Sight Media work is, I mentioned the carpenter's phrase, measure twice, cut once. We're very much measure 3 or 4 times, cut once. We've got redundancy, backup, that kind of stuff to help ensure smooth consistency. And that said, the one thing we didn't back up is me sat there. So we've got no idea whether the stage is ready or anything like that. So that was a mistake on our behalf.
So I reckon we've got a couple of minutes, but I'm sure someone will come over and flag us down if we do go over. Just in terms of, I know you discussed, working with clients, for years, still been able to provide the services, even in this, digital revolution and moving forward. But what's sort of coming up in the future for you? What sort of projects are you working with, or new exciting ideas moving forward? What have you got going on?
One of the big things that First Sight Media have always done is graduations.
Okay.
We've been graduation specialists for 30 years, actually. I've not been there the whole time, of course, my delicate good looks. And what's really exciting at the moment is how our academic customers are starting to embrace the change that's happening in this virtual and hybrid environment, and apply that to their graduation ceremonies. Graduation ceremonies have been quite a formulaic thing for quite a long time. Not all of them, sorry. But I think we're starting to see some really interesting innovation that our customers are allowing us to kind of steer them in the direction of, which is really interesting and exciting actually for us, because graduations, we do a lot of them. I think we did 1,000 in 2019. So any way you can dial up the interest levels, I'm sure my crew will be very happy about.
Brilliant. So, and I did touch on earlier that you're actually an award winner. So last night we did have the Event Tech Awards, and you did take one home. So tell us what that category was.
We did. We were the silver winner of the People's Choice Awards. So thank you to everybody that voted for First Sight Media. We are very grateful. And yes, we have the trophy just over on our stand, just over there. So yeah, very, very pleased about that win.
And did you go out celebrating last night, or are you saving that for another night?
There may have been a couple of sherbets here and there. The main celebration actually involved a steakhouse, which was amazing. So,
I heard.
Very good.
Didn't get the invite myself, so we'll be having words about that a little bit later on.
Apologies.
But now, congratulations on the awards. And finally, obviously, we've got to cover Event Tech Live. If anybody is watching here, like you say, if you can come down, come and join us. But obviously, you've been here for years. Just as an event organizer, as an event planner, maybe you're looking to collaborate with other people as well. What would you say to anyone thinking about joining us next year?
I mean, why weren't you here this year would be my question. It's great that you're watching online, though, so well done for that. You're halfway there. I think what I've been really pleased about this year is the amount of talk of, as I think I mentioned earlier, about collaboration and how just meeting different people and getting new ideas. I know the Beaver team had a look around, and they've already picked up a couple of applets and ideas that they were like, oh, we should do this for ours.
Fantastic.
And I think they weren't expecting to. They were just coming here to present with me on the panel. So yeah, it's been I think do, because you will definitely learn something new.
Fantastic. There we go. Rich Belcher from First Sight Media. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your award, and enjoy the rest of the show.